When we talk about this subject, it's easy to kind of dismiss the idea that you can have sustainable rural transportation and that really the only option in a rural area is a personal automobile. What I'd argue is it's not really a matter of the car versus everything else when we're trying to think about a transportation system. It's more about making sure that one has access to different types of transportation. My name is Aaron Brown and I am the Transportation Program Manager at Vital Community. The average Vermonter we know spends about 90 minutes per day in the car driving. The average commute distance as a result in this region is about 20 miles each way. And we know from studies, particularly Putnam's Bowling alone, that the more time one spends driving alone, the less time that person's going to spend engaged in the community. Well, I think the biggest environmental problem facing the world is overconsumption of fossil fuels, and transportation was the biggest energy issue facing this region. I think I used to take for granted that most people, deep down, do really care about the environment. And I also used to think that if someone cared about the environment, that person would naturally do good things for the environment. But I've learned over my time here that as much as one might care about the environment, that doesn't necessarily lead to sustainable behavior choices. We try to help people make sustainable transportation choices by making it easier for them to access buses or biking or carpooling by kind of taking down some of the barriers that prevent people from choosing sustainable transportation options.
My name is Megan Shannon and I work here at Vital Communities. I encourage a lot of people to think about their land use patterns and where they're living and where they're working and where they shop also, and try to keep those as close together as they can.
I wonder about our ability generally to continue living far away from workplaces. In 20 years this gas is going to be so prohibitively expensive that we'll never live far away, perhaps.
In 2010 I did an analysis of my own personal travel impacts. Over the course of a year I had traveled around the globe 1 1/3 times. The carbon dioxide equivalent of doing that is it's equal to roughly what I think 1.5 acres of mature forest would be able to sequester. So that's just one person's travel. That's a pretty startling figure. Carpooling is available to most people. I was at an event. I heard 8 or 10 times. I live in Berkshire. Nobody else from Berkshire works here. And by about the 4th time I was able to say, wait a second, you're wrong. There are a lot of people from your town who work here. You just don't know who they are. So overcoming that barrier it's a challenge, but it can be done.
I did carpool and that was nice for the social aspect of having someone to talk to and then someone to share expenses with.
I don't think people value not knowing anyone in their community. Few people want to feel isolated and alone.
The best way I think to find someone to carpool with is someone you know, or someone that works close by, or someone that works with you.
But at the same time, we were seeing the younger generation less interested in owning the personal automobile.
Yeah, I like taking the bus because it's really fast and it's responsibility. You don't have to park. You don't need insurance.
I take the bus a lot every day.
Well, you get on there and they take you places. They're mostly on time.
Sometimes when I have meetings in Hanover or Lebanon, I will take the bus to those meetings during the day.
Advanced Transit provided over 515,000 rides last year. An additional 100,000 or so plus came on the Dartmouth College shuttle system. So for a rural area, that's a huge number of rides. Now we see more people choosing to ride the bus for environmental reasons, for financial reasons, and I expect that number to continue to rise.
I used to live in Chelsea, Vermont, which is 45 minutes away, which is 35 miles each way. So I used to drive 70 miles round trip 4 days a week. And I would sometimes carpool with friends or coworkers, but most often I would drive alone. And so that was costing me probably $300 a month in gas, plus almost an hour each way driving. That was a real drag on your pocketbook and on your time and quality of life. So after 3.5 years of that commute, I decided to move to downtown White River, and I live about a 10-minute walk away. The walk to work saves me $250 a month in gas and expenses on my car. I have so much more time now to do other things besides sit in my car.
We've heard a lot of inspiring stories since we started our Smart Commute program a few years ago. One fellow who's an associated hypertherm started taking the bus, but he lived, I think, about 2 miles from the bus stop, so he developed a new fitness regimen where he was walking 2 miles a day to reach the bus. He lost 20 pounds in the summer, got healthy, got outside more often, and really enjoys that benefit. Friend Mike, family with 4 kids, lives in Wilder, works in Lebanon. He was able to get rid of 1 car because he decided to be creative and do a combination of carpooling and taking the bus. In the summer he bikes from one town to the next, and his family's enjoyed great savings and really put a dent on their environmental impacts. I think one thing that people should realize, it's not a all or nothing proposition. You don't have to carpool 5 days a week in order to really make an impact on the world. If you can carpool 1 day a week, that's 20% less driving by yourself. Just figure out what options are available to you in your community. You don't have to do 100% commitment. You don't have to just ditch your car entirely and do a complete life change. Start off with the baby steps and move from there. They really do matter.